Welcome to Classical Charles Greenfield. Through this series of programs, we'll be having intimate conversations via online interviews with regional, national, and international cultural arts celebrities and innovators.
And
Patrick Dupre Quigley, welcome to Classical Charles Greenfield.
It's great to be here. Such technology.
Patrick, you founded your group, Seraphic Fire, in 2002. It's today a very successful choral and orchestral ensemble with national ambitions. You're going on a 3-city tour this season. What brought you to Miami? And at the time, 2002, Miami was a very different city with very different cultural arts.
It was definitely a much different cultural climate. And so when we started Seraphic Fire, a lot of what we were trying to show is that not only could the arts, do well in Miami, but they could flourish and be a model for the rest of the country. And I think if we've done anything, we've certainly accomplished that goal at this point.
Now, the repertoire is vast. It's
Yeah.
actually a millennium, over 1,000 years, because it's a lot of styles. What do you do about consistency?
Well, I think consistency for us is always trying to sound like the music. Our goal really is to cast each one of our programs in the way that an opera company would cast a production. We try to make sure that every voice that we bring for every production is ideal to the music. Because our goal is not to sound like Seraphic Fire. Our goal is to sound like what the composer thought of when he composed that music, he or she. We put together what I think that we can pretty legitimately say is the all-star group of the choral, orchestral, chamber ensembles in this country. Our folks sing and play everywhere, and as a result, we get so many different experiences. And as you know, it's experience that makes music so incredibly human. And so it's great to be able to pull from all over the place for that. We aim for intimacy in almost all of our performances, and the reason being is that, from when you can see the whites of the people's eyes on stage, it changes the interaction that someone has with the music and with the musicians.
You work with underprivileged kids here in the community. You started the Miami Choral Academy, and I believe you're up to almost 2,000 kids
Yes.
in after-school programs.
Yes, well, and during school. Part of what we've done over the past 2 years is try to figure out how we can reach even more children in that perhaps wouldn't have access to the professional musicians that are in Seraphic Fire. I think that the thing that we offer is that our musical model, the sort of European-style chamber choir and chamber orchestra, is unique to the United States. We have so many fans that live on the East Coast who have really only experienced us through our recordings. I think we'll be releasing our 15th recording this year.
Let's talk quickly about acoustics, and then I'd like to go briefly into the schedule for the season.
Sure.
Acoustics are very essential.
Absolutely.
You've changed some of your venues, but would you very quickly tell me what the venues are and maybe just relate them to a short description of the sound in those particular venues?
I'm prepared for this year. You ask this every year, and I get caught off guard. So I made sure that this year I had enough adjectives.
Good. I don't want you trapped.
So in Coral Gables, we perform at St. Philip's Episcopal Church, which has an incredibly warm acoustic. It has hard floors with wooden seats with wicker on them, which really helps diffuse the sound in a surrounding sort of way. On Miami Beach, we perform at All Souls Episcopal Church, which has a soaring vault ceiling, and so it gives it a bit of a cathedral acoustic. In Miami proper, we perform at St. Sophia Greek Orthodox Cathedral, which has that really sort of mystical feeling that many Greek Orthodox churches have, both in its architecture and in its sound. And for our larger programs in Dade County, we perform at both Miami Shores Presbyterian, which really has an incredible, almost concert hall-like acoustic, and then at the South Miami-Dade Cultural Arts Center, which is incredibly direct, a wonderful stage with an incredible crew that we love working with. In Fort Lauderdale, we perform at All Saints Episcopal Church, probably the venue that we've been performing at for the longest, which has slate floors and a wooden ceiling, which combine to make this really ideal acoustic for choral orchestral music.
Why don't we talk now about the upcoming season?
Sure. In November, we're performing Charpentier's incredible Te Deum. Charpentier was a beneficiary of the magnificence of Louis XIV, and his music really reflects that. On that program will also be the Handel coronation anthems, which were written by Handel, commissioned by George II for his son, George III, on George II's deathbed for his son's coronation, as well as we'll be performing one more kingly piece, Act 3, the Cold Genius scene from Purcell's King Arthur. In December, we present our traditional Seraphic Fire Christmas program, this year titled The First Noel. I think you know at least one piece that will be on there, but as well as Gregorian chant and the traditional favorites, O Come All Ye Faithful, Silent Night, as well as Jesus Christ the Apple Tree, one of the favorites of our Miami audiences. Following that program, also in December, will be our annual performances of Handel's Messiah. We'll do 3 programs with our orchestral collaborators, the Sebastians from New York. In January, we'll perform a program of spirituals, both Appalachian and African American, and we'll celebrate the release of our new recording of the African American concert spiritual. In February, we will perform Mozart's Requiem with the Sebastians in the completion by Gregory Spears, a young composer who, with the help of a Knight and Funding Arts Broward grant 2 years ago, we commissioned him to write a completion of the Mozart Requiem in 21st century style. Also on that program will be excerpts from Gluck's Orfeo et Eurydice. After that will be in March. We'll welcome a colleague of mine, Julian Wachner, who's the director of music at Trinity Wall Street in New York and also the director of the Washington Chorus. He'll be doing a performance of modernism in the Americas, including music by Morton Lordson, Alberto Ginastera, and many others, as well as music that he composed. In April, we have 2 programs. We'll be performing Brahms's Ein Deutsches Requiem, the German Requiem, in the version that he composed for piano 4 hands. One can almost hear he and Clara Schumann playing that at the piano as the music goes on. Additionally, we're collaborating with the New World Symphony. I'll be conducting both Seraphic Fire and the New World Symphony in a program of some, I suppose, disparate music. We'll start with the Aventure and Nouvelle Aventure of György Ligeti, which are his comedic pieces that deal with the vagaries of, say, French cabaret music. We'll also be performing music by Monteverdi, his Beatus Vir. The second half of the program will be dedicated to a piece by Steve Reich, the Desert Music, which actually Michael Tilson Thomas premiered and commissioned. And I'm really excited that he's allowing me to conduct his group and my group singing that piece this year. And then we'll end with a program that focuses on the music of William Byrd and the English cathedral at the time of Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mary, and Henry VIII.
That really sounds exciting. I was at Carnegie Hall for Steve Reich's 70th birthday recital, and he was there, and that was quite a thrill. And Ligeti is one of my favorite composers, so I am just very impressed. And I just want to say, Patrick, thank you so much for joining me on Classical Charles Greenfield.
Always wonderful to see you.